Hey, Cedric here. Just wanted to do a video about quitting smoking, alright? Um, a friend of mine said that he was trying to quit smoking, and I know it's an issue a lot of people face, and you can do it. That's what I'm here to tell you, okay? You can quit smoking if you want to. I just gotta readjust this a little bit. It's not as difficult as all these stop smoking products would have you believe, okay? What it really boils down to is, are you ruled by your mind or are you ruled by your spine? Alright? Our minds will tell us, you need a cigarette. You've earned a cigarette. Our minds tell us this about a lot of things, okay? This is the nature of addiction. I'm here to tell you that you don't need a cigarette, okay? Now, one of the first things that you're going to need is willpower, and the willingness to actually quit. Because no one ever died from not having a cigarette, okay? You're not going to die. You might feel like you're going nuts, like you're going to crawl the walls or, do something crazy, but you don't have to. You're the master of your own destiny. The way that I quit smoking, I quit cold turkey, and I was smoking 2 packs a day, alright? I quit about, say, 3 years ago, maybe 3.5. And we're going to have to address physical aspects, emotional aspects, like that, okay? With the physical aspects, you're actually going to process that nicotine through your system very quickly once you stop smoking, okay? Say just a few days. So to help speed that along, you're going to want to have a higher intake of an antioxidant such as vitamin C or vitamin E, okay? We want to help to move that through, help our body just purge and process and clean. I'd also like you to have a fitness regime in place, a fitness regimen in place. Of course, I'm going to recommend my Zombie Fighter Django workout because it's free and it works, and it's what I used. Shadow boxing, push-ups, jumping jacks, burpees, things like that, okay? You're going to want to have that in place. Something that you can replace the Jones or the addiction to nicotine with. We're going to exchange the addiction to nicotine for an addiction to our exercise, okay? Other things that can help, some type of lozenge. Now, of course, you don't want to just be sucking on hard candy, a bunch of sucking candy. We're not going to exchange a nicotine addiction for tooth decay. So think about that, think about the different things. You don't want that aspartame, because that actually is detrimental to your system. We want to do this intelligently. Another physical aspect of it, nicotine is an appetite depressant. So when we stop smoking, suddenly we're hungry. Things taste so good because our tongue isn't coated with tar and nicotine oil, and our appetite suddenly comes swinging back, and we don't want to get overweight, which can be easy to, it happens, but you don't have to allow it to. So think of healthy snacks, because the oral aspect of smoking it's part of that physical addiction. I'm going to say oral fixation almost. That's something that you'll maybe need to address. I used Fisherman's Friends. It's a cough drop, and now the reason I chose those is because they're extraordinarily strong, and I broke them into quarters, and I would use a quarter, if for those times when I was just really used to having a cigarette. I mean, when I climbed into the car, I would light a cigarette like a damn monkey, extraordinarily conditioned to that moment of smoking. So that's where I use that the lozenge, and in other places too. You know, anytime I would get the Jones, you know, when a break was coming up at work, boom, I would take that before I went on break, because on break, you know, I'm gonna aqua lung a cigarette. Now, another aspect of it was, like I said, exchanging addictions, alright? So when you get that Jones, that itch for a cigarette, that physical craving doesn't last that long, in truth, unless we obsess upon it, alright? So, when that craving comes along, instead of having a cigarette, we're going to do some kind of an exercise. Drop and do 10 push-ups. Do 10 jumping jacks. 10 burpees. Okay? Let's move through those few seconds of addiction, of craving, rather, and satiate that craving with physical exercise. You know? And if that isn't enough, then do more. Do more exercise. You know, who wants a cigarette when you're gasping for breath? These work. Are you ruled by your mind, or are you ruled by your spine? The mind can be ruled by addiction, but your spine, that's your willpower, that's the iron in you. Okay? And you can tell your mind, you can tell your body what to do. It just comes down to quitting. I've seen a lot of people try to use this thing called vaping to quit cigarettes, or to quit smoking. That's just another addiction. You're taking in nicotine, okay? It's a vasoconstrictor, and there are overall, you know, health issues that come along with constant use of a stimulant. I would urge you to skip that and just quit. It's difficult. And because of addiction, our mind will, because addiction hijacks that reward pathway, okay, the dopamine pathway, it hijacks that and makes our hindbrain, our primitive brain, believe that it's a need, like a food, shelter, air. So we have to be cognizant of our addiction, alright? Our mind will try to do these sneaky little left turns to take us back to where we started and get us smoking again, like just any old thing. Oh, I can have one. Oh, that smells so good, you know. That whole one cigarette won't hurt. I can have one, and then I'll just stop again. All right. But once we take that step, it's easier to take the next step and next step. We're drawing a line and then stepping over it. Drawing a line, stepping over it, weakening our will. Okay. We are allowing our mind to rule our spine, rather than the other way around. Okay? So we're not going to do that. When our mind starts making these seemingly inconsequential left turns that just come out of nowhere, you know, I'm going to go over to my buddy's house. Well, we know our buddy smokes. Why are we going over there? What was the real reason? Alright? So let's stop it there, because once we take several steps in that direction, we're already on a fixed pathway of behavior, and we're going to end up smoking. Now, here's another trick that I used. Every time I thought about smoking, I chanted this mantra in my mind. To smoke is to choke. To smoke is to die. To smoke is to drown in my own lung tissue and blood. I would repeat that over and over in my mind. It was a many-pronged approach to quitting, and it worked. And I am much better for it. I mean, I went from not being able to jog 50 feet without being out of breath to I did 30 miles in one day for Christ's Nursery. I pulled a 300-pound wagon 11.5 miles, with several of those miles uphill. This is an example of what you can do. Alright? Are you ruled by your mind, or are you ruled by your spine? I believe in you. Okay? That is how I quit smoking. I realized those spots where I had become accustomed to smoking, okay? In the morning with my coffee. Now, instead of that cigarette, as I waited for the coffee to brew, I did one-arm push-ups on my sink. Alright? Just grab the counter there where my hands fit over the double sinks, and did just one-arm push-ups instead of the cigarette. And then once I had the coffee, I just didn't smoke. I didn't allow myself to think of it. If I started to think of it, then I would put something else in my mind, okay? Or even shout, "Stop," inside my head. Alright? I had to be conscious of all those spots, like getting into the car, the oral fixation aspect, how long do physical cravings last, getting the nicotine out of my system quickly with antioxidants, a lot of water, okay? And not letting myself just overeat, or the sugar tasted really good. Alright? So that's another thing. Don't replace it with soda pop. Another thing that's just detrimental, another stimulant. Alright? I drink coffee. That's a part of my morning, but that's where it stays now. You know, when I first quit smoking, I did drink coffee within the day at first, because I was, I guess, really used to having that just constant stimulant, constant dose of stimulant. I just want to tell you that you can do it. It's very easy. When you get that Jones, you're like, I want a cigarette. That familiar feeling, I want a cigarette. Drop and give me 10 push-ups. Do 10 jumping jacks. If that isn't enough to get through the physical craving, do 10 more. And not only will you quit smoking, save money, improve your health, but you're going to build strength, mad strength, alright? So, that's it. It's a simple system, but it works. Alright? So I believe in you. You can quit smoking. Be good to yourselves, okay? You live free and punch hard. Hold your heads up high. And I'll catch you later, alright? Be good to yourself. You're worth it, and I dig you.